August 25, 1944. The ground trembles as thousands of trucks surge forward, ignoring blackout orders. Metal grinds, rubber screeches, and the air smells of gasoline and sweat. The stakes are clear. The fate of Patton's Third Army, the liberation of Paris, the collapse of German resistance. How does an army advance when every law of logistics says it should grind to a halt? The answer thunders down a one-way highway, 400 miles from the Normandy beaches. The Red Ball Express is born in crisis. German generals, watching from East Prussia, believe the Americans have outrun their supplies. Their calculations are precise. No army can move this fast, this far, without fuel. They expect Patton's tanks to stall, giving the Wehrmacht time to regroup, to dig in, to survive the coming winter. But the Americans have a secret weapon, not a new tank, not a secret code, but a river of trucks, 5,958 of them, rolling. Each day, 12,500 tons of supplies thunder toward the front. The Germans, masters of blitzkrieg, are about to learn a new lesson. In modern war, logistics is the sharpest blade. The Red Ball Express is more than a supply line. It's a gamble against physics, against exhaustion, against the very terrain of France. Two parallel highways, one for loaded trucks, one for empties. No stops except for fuel or breakdowns. Headlights blaze all night, a beacon of defiance. Every 5 minutes a new convoy launches. Military police clear the way, pushing aside any vehicle that slows below 25 miles per hour. Mechanics wait every 50 miles, ready to fix or abandon broken trucks. The rules are simple: keep moving or get out of the way. The drivers are mostly young, mostly untested, and mostly African American. In a segregated army, they are denied equal rights at home, but here, they are the lifeblood of victory. They paint slogans on their trucks: Patton's Blood Bank, Detroit to Berlin Express. They create their own code of the road. Slow trucks pull off. Breakdowns are shoved into ditches. Any delay is the enemy. By August 28th, German scouts report the impossible. A continuous column of vehicles, headlights visible for 20 kilometers, moving without pause, without camouflage, without fear. It violates every German doctrine. Headlights at night invite air attack. Tight columns are perfect targets. But the Americans don't care. In the first week, nearly 90,000 tons delivered. Each truck hauls 5 tons, sometimes 7. The round trip, 686 miles. Drivers run 20 hours out of every 24 fuel consumption. 300,000 gallons a day, more than some German armies receive in a month. The Germans dismiss these numbers as propaganda, but the convoys keep coming, day and night, through rain and dust and enemy fire. Time passes. September 1st. The 4th Armored Division advances 35 miles by noon, halts for resupply, then pushes another 32 miles before dusk. German defensive plans shatter. No one believed an armored force could move 60 miles in a day. Not with mechanical failures, not with destroyed roads, but the Red Ball Express makes the impossible routine. The technical reality is brutal. Trucks break down, 1,800 a day. Mechanics trash repairs on the roadside, 15 minutes to fix, or the truck is cannibalized for parts. Engines are swapped in 45 minutes. When bridges are destroyed, engineers build bypasses from rubble. When roads clog, drivers invent new routes, commandeer buses, repaint captured German vehicles, and keep the cargo moving. The system is chaos, but it works. Fuel is the lifeblood. The Red Ball Express burns more gasoline, moving gasoline, than the Germans allocate to entire panzer divisions. But the Americans have Operation Pluto, pipelines under the English Channel, pumping fuel to forward dumps every 25 miles. Tanker trucks run their own convoys, ensuring no vehicle waits more than 10 minutes for refueling. German observers are stunned. They see fuel dumps larger than their entire strategic reserves. They see a supply system that multiplies speed, not just sustains it. The psychological impact is devastating. German soldiers hear the trucks all night, every night. The endless drone of engines becomes a weapon, a reminder of American abundance. They have 3 rounds per rifle. The Americans bring millions. The sound itself breaks morale. Some German prisoners weep as they watch the convoys roll by, understanding that they are witnessing the end of their world. The trucks themselves are marvels of mass production. The GMCCCK W2.5 ton, the Deuce and a Half, is the backbone. Over 500,000 built by war's end. All-wheel drive, automatic tire inflation, waterproofing, engines that run on low-grade fuel, heaters that work in winter. Where Germans rebuild engines, Americans replace them. Where Germans ration parts, Americans discard entire vehicles. Where Germans have master mechanics, Americans have thousands of competent ones who can fix 80% of problems on the fly. As the front moves, the red ball adapts. When the original route to Chartres is too slow, new extensions appear overnight. White Ball Express, Green Diamond, Red Lion. Each new route is operational within 48 hours. German staff officers, used to weeks of planning, are left behind. The Americans just paint new markers and start rolling. The predominance of African American drivers creates a paradox for Nazi ideology. German racial theorists, convinced of black inferiority, watch as these men perform logistics miracles. They drive harder, fix faster, and treat prisoners with a fairness that shatters propaganda. Every mile driven is a blow against Hitler's theories. The Red Ball Express is not just a supply line, it's a temporary civilization. Engineers build or reinforce 40 bridges, create 15 fuel depots, 26 maintenance stations, and 8 temporary cities for drivers. The bridge at Mont, destroyed by German engineers, is replaced in 14 hours. Convoys detour only 8 miles on hastily bulldozed roads. German engineers watch in disbelief as Americans build faster than they can destroy. Artillery supply becomes a miracle. During the reduction of Metz, American guns fire 100,000 rounds in 24 hours. The Red Ball delivers every shell, plus a surplus. German artillery is rationed to 50 rounds per gun per day. The disparity is overwhelming. American firepower is limited only by the speed of the trucks. Attrition is staggering. By late September, average vehicle life drops to 10,000 miles. 30% of trucks are deadlined daily. Engines replaced, 500 a week. Tires consumed, 10,000 weekly. Total vehicles destroyed or abandoned, over 5,000. The operation never slows. American production replaces losses faster than the Germans can count them. French civilians watch in awe. Children gather at every stop, hoping for chocolate, cigarettes, soap, oil. Drivers share their rations, spreading American abundance. The contrast with German occupation is stark. The convoys become rolling propaganda, proof that liberation is real and victory inevitable. Resistance activity surges along the Red Ball route. Early September brings crisis. Patton's army has advanced so far that even the Red Ball struggles. The round trip now exceeds 700 miles. Drivers collapse from exhaustion. Vehicles disintegrate. German intelligence senses opportunity. But within 72 hours, the Americans adapt again. They create transfer points, cut individual runs to 350 miles, rotate drivers, double the number of trucks. By September 12th, tonnage delivery increases. The system grows stronger under pressure. Aerial supply joins the effort. C-47 transports deliver 2,700 tons by air in a single day. The Luftwaffe, at its peak, managed 300 tons to Stalingrad. The Americans use planes like trucks, overwhelming losses with numbers. The Germans cannot compete with this industrial arithmetic. The Red Ball Express operates on principles that baffle German officers. Junior officers make decisions reserved for generals. Sergeants command operations larger than German colonels. Chaos should result, but instead efficiency grows. Every lieutenant acts like a general, every sergeant like a colonel. The Germans, bound by hierarchy, cannot match this speed. By October, railheads catch up. The Red Ball Express, meant to last 10 days, has run for 82, delivering 412,000 tons over 122 million ton miles. German commanders, now fighting on their own borders, admit defeat. Field Marshal Model writes, "We were not defeated by tanks or planes. We were defeated by American trucks." The transition to rail is itself a marvel. American engineers rebuild 1,000 miles of destroyed French rail lines, while the Red Ball still runs. New track is laid faster than Germans can destroy it, often using captured equipment. The final statistics defy belief. 82 days, 412,193 tons delivered, 23,000 drivers, 5,900 F-58 trucks daily, 700,000 gallons of fuel consumed each day, 40,000 tons of ammunition to Patton alone, 15 million rations, 135,000 tons of medical supplies. German officers reviewing these numbers in captivity admit their error. They had multiplied their best performance by 3 and assumed that was the American maximum. They were wrong by a factor of 10. The Red Ball Express destroys German faith in their own superiority. Officers who mocked American logistics watch in silence as convoys roll by, understanding that the war is lost. The operation forces a reckoning within the American military. The overwhelming success of African American drivers, still segregated and denied recognition, creates pressure for change. Eisenhower himself witnesses their endurance and declares, "These men are winning the war as surely as any infantry." 3 years later, the seeds of desegregation are sown. The Red Ball was their combat, and they won it decisively. German attempts to copy the Red Ball fail. Operation Greif, during the Battle of the Bulge, tries to use captured American trucks. Within a week, most are deadlined. Germans try to repair. Americans would have replaced. That difference explains defeat. The winter of 1944-45 brings freezing rain, snow, and ice. German doctrine says wheeled logistics are impossible below -10 degrees Celsius. The Red Ball keeps rolling. Drivers chain tires, pour alcohol in radiators, and push through blizzards that stop tanks. Speeds drop, but tonnage continues. The system is unstoppable. In May 1945, captured German officers study the Red Ball for history. Americans create temporary civilizations, thousands of men, thousands of vehicles, millions of tons of supplies that exist only to feed armies, then dissolve overnight. Germans build permanent infrastructure over years. Americans build superior temporary systems in days. The cost is immense. $100 million in 1944. Vehicles destroyed, fuel consumed, roads ruined. But the payoff is greater. The Red Ball enables the capture of 400,000 German soldiers, the liberation of France, Belgium, and Luxembourg, and shortens the war by 6 months. Each day of war costs America $250 million. The Red Ball pays for itself in a single day. The legacy is profound. The veterans return home and build the modern American trucking industry. They found companies, design highways, and apply lessons learned in France. Volume beats efficiency. Speed beats perfection, and if you keep trucks rolling 24 hours, you and move the world. Military historians agree. Without the Red Ball Express, Patton's advance stops, Paris falls weeks later, and German forces dig in for winter. The operation validates American doctrine, logistics over tactics. While Germans study Clausewitz, Americans study Detroit assembly lines. The Red Ball proves that in modern war, supply determines victory. September 15, 1944, Field Marshal von Rundstedt receives the final report. The Americans have created a supply system that makes distance irrelevant. The culminating point where armies outrun their supplies does not exist. The Germans are fighting the last war. Their only answer is despair. Behind the numbers are human stories. Drivers who refuse relief after 3 days without sleep. Mechanics working in freezing rain. Teenagers lying about their age to drive. The mythology grows. The Americans are not soft. They drive themselves harder than Germans drive horses, but they do it by choice, not fear. This makes them more dangerous than doctrine can explain. The Red Ball Express becomes unintentional propaganda. German soldiers hear the convoys at night, endless streams of motors that never stop. The sound itself is psychological warfare. American units broadcast truck engine sounds toward German lines, creating phantom convoys that demoralize troops. The knowledge of unlimited supplies breaks the will to fight. November 1944, with rail lines restored, the Red Ball Express ends. In 72 hours, the massive operation dissolves. Troops reassigned, vehicles redistributed, routes returned to civilian use. Germans require months to create smaller operations and years to dissolve them. Americans build, use, discard, and build again. When German generals surrender in May 1945, many cite the Red Ball Express as proof of hopelessness. The trucks, not the tanks, broke the German army. The final statistics are a monument. 412,193 tons delivered, 122 million ton miles, 5,950 Y8 trucks daily, 23,000 drivers, 57 million gallons of fuel, 180,000 tires, 5,000 vehicles destroyed, 100 million. Ohlers spent, 47 German divisions defeated, 180 days of war shortened. In 1994, the United States Postal Service issues a stamp honoring the Red Ball Express. Veterans gather, remembering the roar of engines, the exhaustion, the pride. Most were black soldiers, segregated and denied recognition, but they delivered victory at 35 miles per hour. The Red Ball Express proves that in modern war, logistics is not support, it is the main effort. The highways of France still bear the scars, ruts, bridges, abandoned vehicles. But the greatest monument is the speed of Allied victory. Every day the war was shortened saved thousands of lives. The Red Ball Express shortened it by months. In the end, the German generals who laughed at American logistics learned the hardest lesson. Amateurs talk tactics. Professionals talk logistics. Americans talk trucks. The Red Ball Express was America talking very loudly indeed, in the roar of 6,000 engines that never stopped, carrying democracy and destruction at 35 miles per hour down a one-way road to victory. The last word belongs to a German officer standing by a Belgian road, watching the endless convoy. We prepared for everything. Your tanks, your planes. We never prepared for your trucks. How do you defeat an enemy who has more trucks than you have soldiers? The answer rolls past him, 5 minutes at a time, rewriting the rules of war. The Red Ball Express made logistics into strategy, supply into victory, and trucks into the most decisive weapon of the European war. The German generals stopped laughing when they understood this truth. By then, Patton was already at their gates, supplied by the greatest logistics operation in military history.